The Chery Tiggo Cross HEV is like a border collie. It's full of energy. It doesn't waste its energy. It's full of awesome tricks and, you know, really is lovable. But shoot, there can be things that you like, whew, okay, calm it down. Calm your farm. You know, it can be a bit hyper. And there's certain things that maybe annoy you a little bit, but in with a little bit of patience and still, again, very lovable. I put all my deets with this onto hippo.co.za and got 653 Rand, cheapest quote, 7,500 Rand excess. And I think that was pretty good, especially for a hybrid. And go look at all the terms and conditions when you click on quotes and whatever to see what is included and what's not. Because maybe you want to pay on the next quote because it includes more. You won't know until you try. So if you've watched any of my reviews, you'll know that fuel consumption on the Chinese cars has always been an issue, right? We constantly go on about the fact that great value for money but fuel consumption too high. Chery goes, here is a Tiggo Cross HEV, hybrid, okay? Boom. Well played, Chery. Because let me tell you, this fuel consumption is quite extraordinary. I'm going to kick off with that, okay? I'm going to start talking about the engine first because it's important. It's got a 1.5 litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder petrol engine, which has a 77 kilowatts of power and 118 newton meters of torque. But then it adds the electric motor, and that gives you total output of 150 kilowatts of power and 310 newton meters of torque. That's huge. Okay, that's quite a lot. But on paper, that's a lot, right? In reality, you're not feeling that, to be fair. It's not exactly the most spirited of drives. It doesn't feel like it's got that much power sitting underneath it. But it doesn't matter for me, because what is important is the fact that the electrification ensures a smooth drive, a comfortable drive, and you don't even really tell the difference too much when you're going from EV to ICE. In fact, here, like, I'm doing, like, how smooth is this acceleration? I couldn't even tell you, if I was looking at it, I wouldn't even know if I'm in EV or ICE mode right now. That's great. But the most extraordinary thing is this fuel consumption. So it is claimed at 5.4. I have never gone over 5 litres per 100 Ks, and I'm currently sitting at 4.4 litres per 100 Ks. And it's gone lower already. So that just in itself is all you need to know if you're looking at a Tiggo Cross. You are silly to not go for the hybrid model, because as much as the Tiggo Cross is a great little car, it is thirsty. And this is the opposite of that. This is not like me and Prosecco or me and wine, okay? It is the opposite. It's like my friends who just, oh, there it's now kicked into ice. Okay, that was a bit, but still, I'll forgive it because, shoot, what a fuel consumption. So the other thing is there, you hear that drone a bit, and that's this transmission, which is a dedicated hybrid transmission, and unfortunately acts a little bit like a CVT in terms of, like, when you put your foot down, it drones into the car. But again, if you drive this with a gentle approach and absolutely opposite to the way that I drive, you're going to not be affected by that. Because you should actually be driving with efficiency in mind if you're buying this car. So don't go flying to places. You don't need to be getting everywhere super fast and putting your foot down and accelerating and driving aggressively, because then you kind of defeat the whole point of having this car. So if you're just a cruiser, you're doing the drop-offs and you're doing errands and whatever, and you're going to cruise away for a weekend, you're going to be so appreciative of this fuel consumption. There is one thing that really irks me though with this gear lever specifically, and I've had it on other cars too. You really have to push it into the gear, and you have to put your foot on the brake specifically to do that in a way. And where that bugs me is, because obviously it's fine, you know, I'm in drive now, it doesn't matter. If I'm reversing out of my driveway, for instance, I reverse out and now I see a car coming because I'm like near a corner, I need to be back into drive quickly. This doesn't let me do it. I have to almost stop, like brake, hard on the brake, and then go. I like to be rolling and then go. So that is a bit of a thing that would frustrate me to no end. Now guys, there is one thing that I love, is, okay, obviously sometimes I leave the key or have the key with me in my pocket or whatever while I'm filming. And when I get out of the car, there's a thing here that says like, please turn ignition off. And I think it's meant to say before getting out of the car, but it says, please turn ignition off before getting off. I love that so much, and I hope that Chery never change it, because if I read that off, and it just puts a smile on my dial. Do you know? I'm childish that way. One thing that is bizarre for me is the size of this key fob. Check this out, guys. That's huge. That's massive. It's like another cell phone. Hello. Okay, too big. Make it smaller. But although, fair enough, you're not going to lose it. Well, because I don't think I've even told you the price of this car yet. Because all these little things that I'm saying, that like, you know, just saying what, like the pros and cons and all of those things, one must consider. This is a compact family car, under 500,000 Rand. In fact, there are two derivatives for this HEV Tiggo Cross. You've got the Comfort and Elite. I'm in the Elite, which is the top of the range, actually top of the range. And it's 470,000 Rand, all in. Okay, that's really good. It makes it the cheapest compact SUV hybrid on the market. The next one you're going to go to is like a Haval Jolion Pro HEV or the Corolla Cross Hybrid. And those are a little bit, well, actually quite a bit more expensive. This has a bigger boot than the Haval. Okay, the Corolla is a bigger car in general. The boot's bigger, everything's a bit bigger. Space in here, not bad at all, certainly up front here. In the rear, so the boot is 380 litres. The rear has great headroom. The legroom is a little bit not as nice. I sat behind myself and, you know, with Hippo on my lap, and not as great. I would prefer a little bit more space there, but if you've got kids in the back, they'll be fine. And I don't always care about my passengers. They must be, if I'm comfortable, I'm happy. And these seats are very comfy. This faux leather that comes standard, very cool. These seats make this car look, for me, very premium. In fact, the whole interior is quite premium looking and feeling for me. These 10.25 inch touchscreens, all of that touch screen and display screen here, looks very good. You know, you've got your 360-degree camera, dual zone climate control, wireless charger, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which worked seamlessly, and I haven't had any issues with it yet, so yay, no glitching. This has got heated seats, this Elite model. It's got the sunroof, which I know people want, but I'm like, bleh, get rid of it. And for the only reason, okay, this is electric sunroof, it impedes on headroom, and you don't need it. And also, I find it tricky, this little thing, I want to close it all the time, and then you keep it going forward, and then it closes, and then it opens again. And then you've got to close. I'm very confused by it. Frustrated. I hate it. Not a Chery thing. I hate all sunroofs. Roofs. We know this. We've also got ambient lighting, a 6-speaker sound system. Genuinely, there isn't a car that's more generously spec'd at this price point that is also a hybrid. In fact, there just isn't really. And that feels like you're in a more fancier car, if you will. This has also got like semi-autonomous driving tech. What have I done? Oh, guts, I've turned on the dual zone climate control. So this is the thing with like a lot of these touchscreens and stuff. Like this has got some other buttons at least, so you can quickly get hold of the climate control, which is what I did down here. I think I don't even know how I did that. But the heated seats are connected to that, and so if I only want the heated seats on, then I can't turn the climate control off. And so, just now I didn't want any air on me, I just wanted my bum warm because it's chilly here, and then it turned it off, so then I had to go back into it and turn it on. It's a bit of a bummer. Ha! Do you see what I did there? I didn't even do that on purpose. Semi-autonomous safety tech, 7 airbags. This Elite model adds more things. It's also got like the alert if you're in the rear passenger. If you're a rear passenger, you open the door. Like if you're kiddies, especially if they're opening the door and there's a car coming, it'll be like beep, and like lets you know. It's a very cool thing to have that actually. Ooh, the one thing that it does have, which is very good from a safety point of view, but you know, us South Africans are just annoyed by anything, is you cannot, the parking brake won't, the electronic parking brake won't disengage unless your safety belt is clicked in. And that can be annoying, especially if you're a content creator and you need to move a car forward an inch or forward, back an inch. Not that a person buying this is doing that, but some people live in an estate or they, drive out of their garage and they don't always put the safety belt on yet. They do it as they start driving. Maybe they're in a rush, like whatever. It can be a little bit frustrating, but again, safety first, So like in conclusion, I mean, you just certainly won't get such good value for money for a hybrid with such incredible specification that you do with this Chery. So if you are in the market and you've only got like between 400 and 500,000 rand to spend, but you really want to save on fuel consumption and you want a car that feels, a little bit more premium and has all the spec that you really after, then this is one that you have to consider. If you can get over the little quirks and the other little things, that's going to be on you. Only you can decide that. I can't decide it for you. I'm just here to give you the information.